Hey everybody, what's going on? It's Peter and Mike. It's my little Pete Pete. My other dog is somewhere around, probably eating some treats that I left around. I hope everybody is having a great evening, a great night. Today is Monday, March 29th, 2021. And I'm so excited because less than a month, the Sport of Reporting Part 1 will live stream on my YouTube channel page, 7 p.m. Standard Eastern Time. I'm so excited. I put so much hard work, so much love, so much time in producing and directing this 3-part film. It's a 3-part film, so part 2 and part 3, they're not done. They're still in the works, but part 1 is all ready to go, locked and loaded, and ready to showcase its beautiful talent. And I'm really excited because this is the first time this type of project has really kind of been done. And I'll explain that a little bit later throughout this video. But I'm really excited because I have like the Avengers of sports reporting in this 3-part film. And I want to let everybody know out there, if I say I have this Avengers of sports reporting in this film, what character do you think I am? Think about that. What's going on, Dancing Vegan? How are you? Hello. So, I really do feel like I have the Avengers of sports reporting in this project. So I'm gonna wait for a couple more minutes, wait for some people to come on, and I hope everybody is enjoying their day. I am making my dinner. I'm gonna have some fish, some baked potato, and some broccoli. Trying to get my body right. It's difficult, but I went to Walmart today, and I don't know how some people may feel about Walmart, but I go to Walmart. It's 5 minutes from where I live. It's really convenient, and it has good prices, in my opinion. A lot better than Stop and Shop, better than Target. I'm sorry, but that's just a fact. But anyways, I went to Walmart and I shopped and got some groceries and whatnot. I go there like every day because I'm the only person in my apartment, so I just pick up little things every single day instead of like being smart and pick up things for like a week. And I went down the cereal aisle, and they have donut cereal, Hershey cereals, Reese's Pieces, of course. They have Cookie Crisp. They have Honey Bun cereal. They have all these kinds of snacks / candies, and now they have made it into cereal. I mean, in one way it's kind of cool and unique, and then in another way it's like, that's why this country is so obese, right? We're overweight. And even me, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit overweight, and you may say, oh no, you're not, Mike, but by doctor standards, I'm a little bit overweight for my height. I'm 5'10", and I probably weigh like 198, 197. That's what all my clothes are. So I'm probably a few pounds overweight. So, and yes, I eat a lot of sweet stuff. I have a sweet tooth, and love to drink orange juice and stuff like that. But anyways, not to get too distracted. So they have all these candies and snacks. I wonder what's the next thing they're going to create as a cereal. Like, back in the days, Dunkaroos were like really popular. I wonder if they're going to come up with a Dunkaroos cereal. That would be crazy. Wait. Did I say Dunkaroos? Look at this. This is what I saw today when I was walking down the cereal aisle. It's crazy. Dunkaroos. So I was a huge fan of Dunkaroos growing up. So I was like, I got to try it. So I don't know. It looks good, but then on one hand, it doesn't look that good. But it's just full of sugar. But I have Dunkaroos. So if you have a cereal or want a cereal box that you want to share, let me know what's your favorite. I used to love Cookie Crisps growing up, and now I really don't eat cereal that much. I eat a lot of oatmeal instead. But when I get a chance to try something creative like Dunkaroos cereals, you best believe it, I'm gonna give it a shot. So my name is Mike Howard, and also known as Mike Nice. A lot of people know me as Mike Nice. And I'm excited because I'm going to share about my film, The Sport of Reporting. But before I do that, I just want to thank my best friend, Danny Barron. aka Danny O B. I call him Danny B sometimes. Anyways, that was crazy that I said that. But anyways, I want to thank him because he has encouraged me to, go live. And in his standards, I should go live every single week until my film release. So I'm a little bit discouraged because I'm like, Danny, why should I go live? And no one is going to really watch. And, and he said, no, you should go live. You should, keep going. Even with 2 people watchers, even 3 people watchers, you should, go live. So I'm going live. So I want to thank Danny for encouraging me tonight to go live. Danny and I have been best friends since 2nd grade. 2nd grade. So that's over 25 years. And we met at a private school in Branford, Connecticut called Whitewood, WHITWOOD. And it wasn't until like a couple years ago that I realized that it wasn't spelled WHITEWOOD. For a long time, for a decade at least, I thought the school was always spelled WHITEWOOD. And I remember I used to tell people in my community, "Oh, I go to Whitewood School," and they used to laugh. And but it's a great school. Let's just say this: you know how Puerto Rico is part of the country, but also does its own little thing. Yeah, that's how Whitewood was. Whitewood was a school, but it definitely didn't follow the traditional protocols of schools. We went on field trips, consist of going to farmhouses, going to farms with nuns, going to the woods and abstract sugar or not sugar, but syrup from maple trees. We had a pancake day. We had a French toast day. We had a quilt day, pajamas day. I mean, it was crazy. Basically, what schools would never dare do right now, Whitewood did. But it was a great school. It was a small private school, maybe like under 200 students, including teachers. And it was unique because 2nd and 3rd grade were together. And then 4th and 5th were together. And then 6th through 8th were all together, that's astonishing because usually it's 8th and 7 or maybe 6th and 7, but never 6th, 7th, and 8th. So it was a great school. I was there for 3 years. Danny B was there, I think, since pre-K, and then he left when he was in 4th grade or 5th grade, I believe. So I left a year before he did, but we stayed in touch. He went to Bessie Ross. I went to East Rock, stayed in touch, had sleepovers, got in trouble together. And, he's a best friend could ever have. And he's like a little brother. I'm a couple months older than him, but he's a smart guy. So I met Danny at Whitewood. So shout out to Whitewood and shout out to anybody out there who's listening from Whitewood. Believe it or not, throughout Connecticut, throughout the United States, people have attended that school, whether it was in the 60s, 70s, 80s, or 90s, because it was around for that long. So shout out to Whitewood. Shout out to Danny B. I have a little script here. I haven't really memorized it, so I'm just going to kind of just go off of it a little bit. So, I want right now in my life, what I'm striving for is to become an adjunct professor. Like that's one of my dream jobs. That's the reason why I went back to get my master's degree. I got my master's in journalism, broadcast, and media. And I was a high school teacher a few years ago. Now I'm a substitute teacher. And I just found I love teaching, but I like teaching the younger adults and older adults more so than the adolescents or the children. And I'm excited because I really feel this fall coming up, hopefully when the pandemic goes away or, decreases, that a lot of community colleges or a lot of universities will be looking for adjunct. And hopefully I could get my foot in the door. I was so excited because this past semester, this year, 2021, I was supposed to be an adjunct for Southern Connecticut, and that was my undergrad school. I was so excited because I was supposed to be an adjunct for journalism. I remember calling my mother, my friends, calling Danny, and I was excited because this is what I always wanted to do. And maybe within 3 or 4 weeks, I got a call saying due to lack of students, they had to, take away my class. So I was so disappointed, and I was a little bit discouraged as well because, I was like, oh, I was so close. So hopefully in the fall, if anybody out there is like watching this and like they are a dean of a school or they're a professor and they're looking for an adjunct, I have 15 years experience in journalism and also public speaking as well as communication. So that's what I really want to do. I'm 34 years old. I'm a pretty good looking guy. I have my master's in journalism, broadcast, and media. I have no children. I have 2 dogs, Peter and Andrew. Come here, Andrew, say hi. This is Andrew. This is Andrew, and then this is Peter. They're my babies. All right. Bye-bye. Say bye. And, what I really want in my life right now, like I said, I'm 34 years old. So what I want more than other than my sport of reporting being a successful film, what I want is I want a girlfriend. Like I want a girlfriend, and hopefully it would, ball into a potential long-term relationship, into marriage. Like I want a family. I want children. And it's funny because when you're a teenager or in your early 20s, you have your life ahead of you, and then you have your life set and stand, and you're like, you're gonna do this, you're gonna do this. And now that I'm 34, I'm like, oh my gosh, I was supposed to at least have 2 kids by now. I was supposed to, been married. And my mother, who's the love of my life, 79 years old. She has cancer. She has had cancer for 4 years now, and she's hanging in there. She's a strong woman. She has an older daughter, my older sister, and she doesn't have a grandchild or grandchildren at all. And one of the things that I don't want to happen, which it may happen, is I don't want to have a kid and then my mom is not here, right? I want my mom to be a grandmother before the day is out. And but I don't want to just have a kid with anybody just for the sake of because that's not the right way either. So when my sister, who's my older sister, who's also the love of my life and who helped raise me growing up, she's been in like a 30-year relationship with her boyfriend, and they're gonna get married next year in 2022. But I don't want to do that. I don't want to wait that long. And, I want to, I feel like I'm not 100% ready because no one is 100% ready, but I feel like I'm ready to start. And the last girlfriend I had was 10 years ago. I was 24 years old, and then we broke up, and we're still good friends to this day, but she has a boyfriend, and no, we're not having sex or dipping and dabbing, at least not anymore. She has a boyfriend who's really loves her and all that stuff. So she always says to me like, oh my God, I want you to be happy. I want you to find somebody. And then when I'm saying, okay, hook me up with one of your friends, she says, no. She said, I can't hook you up with somebody because I know you. And I'm like, you know what? That's selfish. Like, I'm in pain right now. I'm looking. You know me more than anybody. Why not? And she always says, no, I can't hook you up, Michael. I'm sorry. You got to do it on your own. So I'm a little bit disappointed in her sometimes because I feel like she's supposed to be my wing woman and supposed to like hook me up. I will say this, and this is where it may take a turn, and you may say, Michael, you're crazy. Again, the sport of reporting. This video is all about the sport of reporting. I'm just sharing a little bit about who I am as a person, but right now I'm just speaking about what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a wife. I'm looking for a girlfriend, a beautiful woman. I just want a beautiful woman. Someone who's just decent, funny, and someone who I could just like, just tell my secrets to, and she could tell my secrets to. And I don't know. I rather just, I guess my philosophy is I rather wait, which I am waiting, and get married once than, get a divorce once or twice. So, but I'm looking for a girl, for a woman who is smart. One of the things that turned me on is a woman that's smart, like smart mentally. And I think because I was raised by two smart, independent females, my mom, my sister, both extremely smart people. My sister went to Yale. My mom got her master's in social work. My sister's now an attorney. So I think for a woman to be extremely smart is sexy to me, right? And but I am shy, right? So you're like, oh, Mike, you're shy. So my friends, even I think sometimes my friend Danny B says this. Like my mom always says this. She says, Michael, you need to stop being shy. And this is a 79-year-old mother who's from the old school, right? From the 50s and 60s. She says, Mike, stop being shy, and you need to go after females like you go after your guest on your talk show. So when you say that, that's like, oh, that makes sense and stuff. But it's not that easy, because when I go after people for my show, and most of the time when I go after somebody the first time, they always say no. Like, it is what it is. You know, I'm not a household name. I'm not famous. And they always say no. One of my gifts is being persistent. I'm like the most persistent person in the world. Borderline harassment. Like, when you say no, that you don't want to be a guest on my show, I love that. I don't even take that personally for some reason. I'm like, okay, you said no. And that makes me work even harder to get you, because I look at my history of some of the big names that I have had on, and now I'm at a point where I'm like, how can you say no? And I interview, Maya Angelou or Linda McMahon or Misty Copeland or my governor or my, mayor. Like, I interview so many people. So I'm like, if you say no, that's just I thrive on that. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get you. And I don't take it really personally. I feel like that's a challenge, I guess. But when I approach a female and I'm like, hey, what's going on? And if I say, you want to go out, and if they say no, or if they have a boyfriend, which is understandable, like, I don't know, I just feel so, I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, how can you say no? I'm a nice guy. I'm a good looking person. And I have my degrees. I'm somewhat smart. So I don't know. It's different. So, for my mother and for the people out there who have that mentality of Mike, just approach females like you approach your guests, it is different. I'm sorry. It's just different. But I haven't had a girlfriend, like I said, in 10 years. I've been on dates throughout the past 10 years and had sex, protected sex. But nothing really committed at all. And I want that. Like, I really want that. Like, I know you're like, oh, I guess, I don't know. It's 2021. Like, it's not always about females want to be committed. Like, guys want to be committed too. Like, right. And I'm looking for a woman who's smart. I'm a butt guy, but if you don't have a butt, that's fine. Someone who's just like decent. Someone who isn't like caught up in the whole makeup and all that stuff, who's not allergic to water. What I mean by that, like, if it rains, they're not gonna get all panic, and they're not gonna panic and say, "Oh, my makeup." Like, there's someone who's like down to earth. If she could cook, that's a plus. If not, that's cool too. I could cook a little bit. And I love to go to movies. I love to stay active. I'm not like a big gym person, but I love to like run, play basketball, play ultimate frisbee, things like that. So I'm just looking for, is there anybody out there? Is there anybody out there that can help me eat these Dunkaroo cereal and just wake up in the morning and eat cereal with me? A female. Oh my gosh. Who possibly doesn't have a kid as well. But if you have a kid, that's okay too. No more than one. Anything after that, and I'm like, but I don't know. So I really want a wife. I really want a girlfriend, right? So if you're out there, inbox me, or you could post something on my channel and say, hey, listen, Mike, I'm here for you. You're the person I'm looking for too. All right. One of my favorite love movies. Wait a minute. Sorry. Sorry. One of my favorite love movies is Meet Joe Black. I love Meet Joe Black. It's one of the most romantic movies I have ever seen. It's with who's in it? It's Brad Pitt and Anthony Hopkins and this other female actress who's a good looking actress as well. And like I want to fall in love like that. But in that movie, he gets hit by a car. I don't want to get hit by a car. But other than that, like I love how they look in each other's eyes. I love how he was kind of shy and innocent, but at the same time knew he loved her. It's just a good movie. You guys should see it. Meet Joe Black. And that's how I want to fall in love. I don't know. I don't want to like every day I'm sleeping in the bed with my doggies. And don't get me wrong, they're okay. But, you know, I would love to like roll over to, a beautiful woman, someone who's for me and me for her. So if you're out there and you're single and you're beautiful inside and out, and and I want a woman who could put me in check when I need to be in check. I'm not scared to say that. Like, sometimes I get out of hand or sometimes I have a temper, which I do. I want a woman who could like, all right, Mike, relax, right? Like, and, only a few females have ever done that to me in my life. And I want to, my wife, my girlfriend to, Mike, all right, chill out now, relax, So, and I'm not afraid to admit that. So that being said, on to the main event, the sport of reporting. Part 1. So for the past almost year now, not year, but past maybe 8 months, on my social media, on my Instagram, my Twitter, on my Facebook, I've been sharing with all my friends, even people who I really don't know so well, this amazing film that I have produced and directed called The Sport of Reporting Part 1. And it's a series of interviews that I have done with some of today's top sports journalists, sports hosts, sports reporters, sports announcers, from all different kinds of sports and from all different networks. I have people from ESPN, CBS Sports, Fox Sports, NBA TV, UFC fighting, Major League Baseball, like all different kinds. And part 1 of this film really centers around sports journalism. It's like sports journalism at its finest. And one of the reasons why I did this is because I'm a huge sports fan. I watch ESPN just about every day religiously. Shout out to Stephen A. Smith and First Take, Molly and Max. And I watch Undisputed on Fox, and I watch different sports shows and different podcasts. And as a sports fan, we are so fortunate and lucky to have great sports journalists covering today's sports stories, interviewing today's athletes, our favorite teams, our favorite coaches, our favorite GMs. But we hardly see them being interviewed, right? We hardly see them being on the hot seat. Well, until now. And this film is all about that. I want to pick their curiosity about how they made it in their career, what stories made them as a great journalist, what put them on the map. How do they gain and earn the trust of the players and the coaches to go be in the locker room before and after the game? If you had to choose between any of your colleagues out there, who would you want to debate one-on-one and why? These are questions I always had growing up as a little kid, as a young adult. And this film is all about this. It's really showing them in a different light. So, for instance, I was fortunate enough to have Stephen A. Smith in this 3-part project. And we see him outspoken, animated every single day on First Take. But what you're going to get on this film is a more laid back, down to earth, more of his history of sports journalism, how he got started in school, in high school, and what intrigued him to be a sports journalist. So you're going to see a different side of everybody that we normally see on TV. And that's what makes this film so unique, is that we see them every day and we hear them, but now we're going to see them in a different light. And this is a 3-part film. And actually starting tomorrow, I'm going to post on my YouTube channel. You can also enter into win a $500 Visa gift card. Okay, so that's a cool thing. So this sports film, I have 30, I have 20, or I have 22 sports journalists. Out of the 22 sports journalists that I have, 7 are going to be in the sport of reporting. Hey, what's up? What's up, Addie? My niece. That's my niece. What's going on? How are you? She just made my day. Addie, I hope you're doing good. Addie, I was just talking about my sport of reporting, so it may bore you, but thank you for coming. Thank you for coming on. Hey, tell your mom and your sister and your brother. I love them. How's everything? I hope you're doing good in school. You got to let me know how you did in that part, in that screen, that the thing we did last week. All right. But that's my niece Addie. She's gonna be a soon to be Hollywood superstar, and then I won't have to try so hard because I'm just gonna rely on her. Anyways, so the sport of reporting, I have 22 sports journalists. Out of the 22 sports journalists, 7 are going to be in part 1 of my film. So if you can guess the 7 names that will be in part 1, you would get $500 Visa gift card. And all the names will be on the video that I'm going to post tomorrow, and all the names will be on my page. So you're going to see all 22 names. And you have to pick 7 names, and you can submit your answer as many times as you want. So if there's 7 names and you pick like Stephen A, Skip, Lisa, Molly, Carrie, and somebody else, you go submit another whole list. So you can submit your answers as many times as you want. The deadline is April 26th, 7 p.m. So once April 26th, 7 p.m. come, I'm not going to take any more. And then you have to watch the film to see if your list matches up with the names in the film. And if it does, you'll win $500 Visa gift card. So that's also a great thing. But even if you don't apply for the contest, you should watch the film, Sport of Reporting Part 1. It's coming out April 26th, 7 p.m. Standard. Tell your friends, tell your family. This is really a unique film. It really is. And when I said earlier, this has never been done before, I'm an average person, right? We're all average people for the most part. Never, ever has a person like me, or even a person like you, have ever gotten these many sports journalists and like produced a film. So that's when I meant like this has never been done before. I have, like I said, I have 22 sports journalists, and this is just for part 1, because you remember I have a part 2 and part 3 as well. So please check it out. I want to thank everybody who was tuned in. Thank my best friend Danny Barron for tuning in. Thank you, Dancing Vegan, for tuning in. Dancing Vegan always tunes in a lot. He's one of my biggest supporters. He watches me more than my mother and my sister. So thank you. And thank you for my niece, Addie. She came on. I don't know if she's there anymore. She's not into sports. So she's like, Uncle Mike is being boring. But thank you so much for coming on. Hey, love you. And remember, I'm looking for a girlfriend. I'm looking for a wife. I'm not going to lie. I'm 34 years old. I want to have a kid before I'm 40. And I want to at least have 2 kids, even though I'm not physically having a child. But I want my wife to agree with me to have at least 2 children. All right. I'm going to hopefully do another live maybe the end of this week or next week. But April 26th, 7 p.m., the Sport of Reporting. Get Dunkaroo cereal. Be safe, be blessed. And that's about it. Bye.